Welcome to Mindalia TV. We are with Cynthia Bampton. Cynthia is co-founder and spiritual teacher in the project Awaken Life project, and we will talk about Cynthia. We'll talk about.
We'll talk about anything you want to talk about.
Experience in life. So.
But you were just telling me something, so
yeah, we start
there.
So I will tell Cynthia before starting that sometimes happens in my life, in my process, spiritual I don't know, but in my process to know what is life and how to interact with life in a way more awakened, you can tell. So I feel some days I wake up in the morning, I feel a lot of frustration, anger. I want to die. I don't understand nothing. I don't want to stay with anyone. I feel very bad, and I want to understand why this happened to me.
What do you do after you wake up and all of that happens? What do you do?
What I do.
Yeah, do you get out of bed and then do you go and scream at your children, or do you just get out of bed and continue on your day, or what do you do?
I do all the things like we don't feel like that.
Okay. So you try to deny the experience?
I fight.
You fight with the experience.
The sensation, like I don't want you here,
right?
Like a child.
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want to wake up in the morning and feel like you have bliss and happiness and an empty mind and an open heart and the angels floating around your head? And is that more what you'd prefer? It's
it's feel good. It was nice to feel good.
Okay.
If you feel like angels and bliss.
So most of the time, so basically you want to feel good.
Yeah.
So is it usually if you feel bad, then do you think that there's something wrong?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if, so you're interpreting your experience from the idea that if I feel good, life is good. And if I feel bad, life is bad. Right?
In a certain way, yeah.
And did you ever notice that feelings kind of come and go? Like one minute you can feel good and the next minute you can feel bad? And then you can feel good again and bad again and then...
No, I think it's more like I wake up one day and I feel bad. Sometimes I'm okay, I'm with the flow.
Right, so sometimes you feel good with the flow, sometimes you feel bad.
Yeah.
And then you're not in the flow.
Yeah.
Right. So my point is that feelings are coming and going all the time, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Maybe have you ever noticed sometimes you feel really bad, but then the phone rings and you answer the phone and somebody tells you something really good, and then all of a sudden you feel good, but you forgot that you felt bad?
No, it's not. It's the point, because normally I deal with the bad things with consciousness, but in that particular days I can do it.
Why?
I don't know.
The reason I'm saying this, I don't know if this is going to work for the interview, but you see, if you're basing your understanding of freedom on how you feel, and if you feel good, then you're free. If you feel bad, then you're not. You will never be free, because your emotional experience is always fluctuating.
I feel like I'm a trap.
You're trapped.
Yeah, trapped.
Right, and you feel
emotion.
Right, and then it's kind of like being victimized by your emotions, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you recognize that emotions are coming and going, sometimes it feels like the same ones stay for a long time. But if you can recognize that the truth actually is they're coming and going, and the only reason they feel like they stay is because you become very interested in a particular feeling. So you wake up in the morning, you feel depressed, you feel frustrated, you feel angry. Okay. And then if you put your attention on those feelings and you think that they're a problem, then you're going to continue to feel frustrated, upset, and angry because your attention is on those feelings. And you're personalizing those feelings. You're making those feelings very important. And you're making them important, and you're saying they're a problem because they exist. I don't like it when they're here. I want happy feelings, right? So what I'm saying to you is, from a spiritual point of view, if you start to understand that all feeling, all thought, let's just talk about thought. Thought is just thought. It's only the mind that interprets a thought as being a good thought and a bad thought. If you hear the sounds of the chimes right now, you don't go, oh, I wish those chimes would go away, because you're interpreting them as bad. You accept them because you feel like, oh, they're beautiful, right? If you have a thought that you're frustrated or angry, you see, you can make that thought mean something about you, right? It's all of a sudden, it's like, God, there's a problem, I hate it, I don't like it like this, I want this to go away. You see, it's all about you creating a story that your life is not the way you want it to be. Why? Because there was a thought that came into your awareness. You see, so we cause ourselves our own suffering when we attach to thoughts that are arising in our experience. So you wake up in the morning and you feel all those things, right? You're interpreting them as bad. But sometimes the start of a spiritual longing for something more comes from our own suffering and our own frustration. So maybe when you wake up in the morning and you're saying, I'm frustrated, I'm angry, and all of this, maybe it's because you're getting to the point in your own spiritual process where you're going, I do not accept this anymore. I do not want these things to happen. I do not want this intensity, right? I do not want it. And you could say, I just want to get rid of it. But how about embracing it? How about looking at it and saying, wow, this is actually also a call from God, from Spirit, from consciousness, to say, have you suffered enough? Are you willing to do something different now? Are you willing to have a different relationship to your mind? Are you willing to actually see that maybe all of this stuff that you call horrible is not horrible? Maybe it's the catalyst to wake you up. Maybe it's God in the form of trying to make you suffer enough where you'll actually look for something higher. You see, then all of a sudden, instead of waking up and being angry that you have these thoughts and thinking something's wrong, maybe you just look and go, wow, this is pushing me to wake up more. This is pushing me to do something different. And then maybe you can go, wow, I'm really grateful that this has actually pushed me this far. It doesn't mean you have to try to make it beautiful. You know how people do that? It's like, I'm going to take something ugly and I'm going to make it beautiful. It's not about fooling yourself. It's not about trying to manipulate your experience. It's changing your perception and your interpretation of your experience. Because it's not a nice thing to wake up like that. But if you wake up like that enough and you get sick enough of it, you'll do something different.
But you can go out of this story in that day.
You can go out. If you wake up tomorrow morning after we've just talked, you wake up and let's say the same frustration is there, the same anger is there. It's all there. Maybe you wake up and instead of just like, ooh, I want to fight with it, maybe you just go, oh,
I'm alive.
I'm alive. Exactly. I'm alive and I'm waking up. Thank you. Instead of feeling like a victim. So tomorrow morning you can take it,
I don't know if tomorrow morning will show.
But if the next time it shows, you see, then what are you going to do? Are you going to just be victimized again and be angry that you've had this, this content is arising in your awareness? Or are you actually going to look at it and go, oh, maybe there's more to this picture than I actually thought?
We can, if these feelings comes, we can stay there. It's what you said.
Yeah, because you have to understand, if you look in your own experience, and everybody just look in their own experience, thoughts and emotions come and go, right? They're not static. They come and they go. They come and they go. They come and they go. They're constantly arising and falling away. You are here and you are aware of this movement of mind, right? So you're aware of it. And then once you become aware of it, you become more interested in I am that which is aware, and I'm not just the content of my mind. Okay, so do this. You know, when you have a thought, right? And a thought usually translates into a feeling.
But I don't know where comes this feeling, because it's not a thought, it's a sensation.
But does it matter?
Deeper sensation.
Does it matter?
I don't know. For me, I think yes, it's matter. It's important.
Why is it important?
To my mind.
Right.
Can explain something.
So if you have an emotion, will you feel better if you know why you're having the emotion?
I think in certain way, yes, I can be more tranquil.
Okay, but why would you be more tranquil? Because you know what's going on, right?
Yeah, control.
You have control, because now I know. Okay? The spiritual truth is that you are not in control. And you have never been in control. You will never be in control. You are being breathed right now. You're not controlling your breath. Are you controlling your mind right now?
No.
Are you controlling what thoughts are coming and going?
No.
Can you tell me anything that you're actually controlling? For real? I mean, if you think, is there anything that you're actually controlling?
No.
Okay, so isn't this interesting? So there's nothing that we're actually controlling, and we're using our mind to understand that there's nothing that's actually we can control. Mm-hmm. So we're accepting we're out of control. Okay, now if we're accepting that truth, we're not controlling anything. And then we look at how we live and look at how much we're trying to control our experience. So you go back to you waking up in the morning. You see, it's like the impulse is to get rid of it, to control it, right? But if you're just with it, you see, and you don't try to control it, you might be able to transcend the intensity of the ideas you have about it.
It's confused.
Okay. Were you with me there for a moment, though, right? So you got to the point you recognize you're not in control of anything.
Yes.
Okay. Do you recognize how much you're trying to control your experience?
Yeah, I try to control some events in my life.
Is that the only thing you're trying to control, is just the events in your life? Or are you also trying to have a quiet mind? Or trying to control your thoughts?
Yes, I'll try to be in presence.
Right. And how do you actually do that? How do you try to be in presence?
Feeling.
Okay, so I don't think this is going to work for the interview, but just for you. So you're basically saying if you're in presence, you have a particular feeling, and then you know that you're in presence?
Yeah.
So then if you're not having that particular feeling, then do you draw the conclusion that you're not in presence?
Mm-hmm. When I was trapped in the emotion and
right.
feelings that I talk.
Right. So what I'm saying to you, though, is if you go deeply into into yourself, that transcends all feeling and all emotion and all thought.
I want to go that place.
Okay. Then all you got to do is be willing not to know. Dropping the need to know. So where we were just a minute ago, you see, if you need to know something, mm-hmm. you need to know that you're in presence, and you need to have a particular experience. You see, as long as you're doing that, you're not going to be letting go into that deeper dimension of yourself where you have no need to know. It's only the mind that comes in and says, I have to know what's happening, because then I feel safe. I have to know what to feel, and then I know that I'm on the right track. So if I feel this way, then I'm in presence. And I'm just saying to you that if you drop the need to know, you will recognize that you are always already present, you are always already free, and there's never been anything to control. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, but I don't experience, it's not experience, interior experience.
Something, but when I just said to you, something went in.
Yeah.
And you went, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so something went in. And so you did understand what I was saying, and you felt it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you feel that kind of sparkle of not knowing, and that curiosity that's happening with you right now?
To be in that place.
No, just right now with what I just said, and then I said something hit you, and you said, yeah. And your eyes are like, yeah, something hit me. You have a smile on your face, right? And you're like going, wow, something did hit me. I don't really know what it is. I don't really know what's even going on right now. But there's something in me that's very curious,
yeah,
and very alive, and very interested. And there's this wanting to know more, right? But you see, what's not here is the need to know so you feel better. That's not happening right now. Just the open curiosity of the, are you with me? The open curiosity.
Yes.
Okay? But in that open curiosity, is there any contraction, any kind of, or is it just like,
contraction, I think right now.
Right now there's a contraction. A minute ago there wasn't though, right?
Yeah.
Because okay, this is good. Because now there's a contraction because you're trying to get it with your head.
Yeah.
Okay, before you completely got it with your heart.
Okay. I understand.
Right. So then you were just like, wow. You were connected to a mystery that you couldn't understand, and it made you happy.
Okay.
Okay. And then you went up into your head and you're like, I don't get it. There's a problem. I'm not understanding, right? And there was no like joy and happiness. There was only like kind of fear and contraction.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. You have to be willing to not know. And we have it on video. Okay? So I'm talking about giving yourself to that mystery. That curiosity. And sometimes it's the asking of the question. And looking at your own experience, looking into your own experience in the moment, and just asking a question. It's not always necessary to come up with the answer, because the freedom comes in asking the questions, and the freedom comes in not knowing.
Very good.
Yeah, and then you find everything. Then you find out everything. But the response to that is, wow, I don't know. And then you lean in and you go, but I want to know. And then you find out something, you go further and you go, wow. But you're so infatuated and so in love with the process of leaning in deeper and deeper. You're not that concerned with getting it with your head. But you understand it more deeply than you ever could. And that's what the spiritual path is. It's just continuing to be.
This is my next question.
Okay.
It's like stay like that all the time.
Yeah. Why not? But it doesn't have to look like, you don't become like an enlightened vegetable where you're just like, whoa, It's not like that. Because when you were with me and you were just curious, right? You were very alive. You said, I'm alive, right? Okay. You were very curious. Can't you live like that?
It's a question?
Yes. Couldn't you live like that open wonder and curiosity? And in that open wonder and curiosity that is just happening now, you see, you're still functioning. You're still asking me questions. You're still aware of your environment.
But I have more possibilities.
Exactly. Yes. You have more possibilities, but the point I'm making, see, you're even recognizing you have more possibilities. So you're not just unfunctional. You're not dysfunctional. You're functional because you're going, wow, there's more possibilities. You're more alive. You're more engaged.
I understand.
You can live like that, you see? That's what it's about.
I like it.
I know. This is why I'm so passionate, because it's right here, right now. You see, you didn't have to do anything.
I will forget this conversation and this woe. I will forget next minute?
You'll forget it because you won't be able to get it with your mind. So a minute ago, you got it with your heart, and then you went up into your head and you got confused, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the practice is basically to just continue to put your attention outward and just be curious, be interested. Always be interested in whatever's going on, and not interested so you can get it with your mind, so you can put it in your pocket and then you know how to be. To be interested in the same way of that curiosity, and just be like, wow, what's going on here? What is really going on here? What's going on? What's happening? You know, human relationships is fascinating, you know, but from a place of freedom, you can look and you can go, wow, why is it that I can't get along with my partner over and over again, and then I get a new partner and I can't get along with them either? You know, and then you just become curious instead of feeling like, oh, I'm such a horrible person. You become curious, what's really going on here? What's really happening? Wow, maybe I'll just look at them and I'll just be with them. I'll just look at them and I'll just be like, who is that person? Instead of this, I already know who that person is, and they're the ones that are causing me all my suffering. You see, it's this already knowing position. I already know. That makes us unhappy. You see, when you don't know, you were completely happy. Right?
Yeah. But sometimes this don't means that we don't have to choose. Sometimes we have to choose, no?
Well, let's use this as an example right here. So you were listening to what I was saying. You found yourself happy because you let go of needing to know. And then you went up into your head. You made a choice to go back into your head. And you got confused and you were kind of like, I didn't really get it. And then you made another choice, and you just said, and I said something to you. You made another choice to listen to what I said, and then all of a sudden you were back in this mysterious place of not knowing what's happening, but you were happy again. So you made 3 choices. You made the choice of where you put your attention. Because you made the choice to listen to me in the first place. You made the choice to allow yourself to go with what was happening. You pulled back what was happening. You chose, just out of habit. I pointed it out. You made a choice to go back and be curious again. So you made a lot of choices in the last few minutes that said, I'm more interested in not knowing and being happy than I am in just being in my head and confused. You did that.
But these choices are not with my consciousness mind.
What do you mean, your consciousness mind?
I don't choose this.
Consciously?
Yeah.
Well, but I
think.
No, but this is what everybody thinks. This is why everybody can be victims, because everybody thinks something is just happening. People think, I'm not choosing anything, stuff is just happening. So the definition of victim is I don't have a choice. Okay? So if we take this scenario again, you could just say, oh, well, I just went up and, I went up into my head and then I didn't and then I did. You see, but if you don't actually look, I'm making it conscious to you that you chose to do this. You chose to listen. You chose to do something different. You chose when you went up to your head, this is not where I want to be. I want to be somewhere else. If people start owning the fact that we are making a choice, either consciously or unconsciously, but we are choosing, you see, the victim position is destroyed. And the victim position is ego. But you see, you chose to be interested.
Because what you said, it's a profound thinker in me.
Yeah.
Or chooser.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't see it.
But aren't you? But the thing is look, you're smiling, right? Why are you smiling now? Because you're inquiring. You're inquiring, going, wow, there's a profound something inside of here, and then you're smiling, and you're like, really? So you're getting in touch with your own inherent intelligence, but it's not your personal intelligence. It's something beyond that. You see, something is guiding you right now in this process. Something is waking you up right now. You see, and you're getting conscious of that right now because you're recognizing that profundity in yourself right now. That's who you are. That's who you are.
And you can describe this feeling? I can't, but you can't.
What you can? What is it? Come on, you say what it is. You're the one who's. I can't tell you what your experience is. I know what my experience is.
Okay.
But, yeah. So what's your experience right now?
I feel everything is possible, and the sensation
Is?
I'm alive.
Right. Okay.
Actually, I cannot explain.
Right. It's a mystery?
I can feel it.
Right.
It's like, whoa.
Can I ask you, does it feel more like you than all the ideas you have about yourself?
Yeah, it's me.
It's you. So it's you, completely undefined, unlimited, and unknowable.
Yeah.
Right. So that's you. So then when you look at who you think you are most of the time, you see your ideas of who you are most of the time are very, very different than what you're recognizing now.
Yeah. But this stage, I was in this situation talking with you.
Right.
But when I was with my kids, for example, chilling, and I can't stay in this space, you know?
Yeah, but this is where you have to be willing to make the effort to learn more about this, to go deeper into it, because what you just experienced now was not an experience. It was an opening to a perception of what's true.
It's always there.
It's always there, right? And it'll look different. It won't always feel like this. So if your kids are, kids can be challenging, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, chaotic, everything going on. So if that's happening, you see your emotional experience may be different. It may not be one of, like stillness and quiet like you are feeling right now. But you have to look at you down here. It's completely calm, and right now you're resting in that. Okay? There's nothing really going on. We're in a beautiful place, no children, no noise, right? Okay, but this is always who you are. And then on the surface, so just think of the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean, very quiet, very still. And then the fluctuation is life. Okay? But this is always who you are. So you relate to the fluctuation of life as when you're resting as yourself.
But you can relate with the life, the crazy things in this deep.
Yeah, because the depth is just a place where it's you, like you said, it's me. Now, what if you you deeply recognize that, like you recognize it now, but what if your primary identification of who I am changes from you being this, and this, to my primary identification to this. So right now, your primary identification is all the details. And then that's where you respond from or react from. What if this was your primary identification, and then this is where your response? You need to shift your identification, and that's the process of purification.
Okay, and it's a long process.
Doesn't have to be, but it takes time. But it's not really about trying to get to an end point, because that again is just the mind wanting to come in to say, well, okay, how do I know when I'm finished and when I'm there? But life is happening only right now. It's only now. Now. Right now, you don't have any children here. There's nothing going on, so there's really only now. Okay, when you're with your children, that's what's happening. When that's what's happening. But this underlying depth that you recognized yourself to be, that is always the underlying depth of all situations. Okay? And then it will feel different at different times. But it's just like, who am I? Am I the fluctuation, or am I this?
I feel that if I respond in that place, I will have more options and more a different action.
Yeah, exactly. You see,
but in the practice, I can't do it in this place.
You can or you can't?
I can't.
Why?
I feel like I'm limited to the happenings, you know.
Okay, but listen, you just told me when I asked you to describe, and over this conversation we've had, you said it's many possibilities. It's unlimited. And I said, who is that? And, I said, what? And you said, it's me. So you have to look at your deepest understanding. So your deepest understanding of who you are is that which is unlimited, that with multiple possibilities. Okay? You recognize that you don't really know who you are. So now the voice of ego has just come in out of habit. And the voice of ego sounds like, I can't, because that's limitation. Mm-hmm. But your deepest understanding says there's no limitation.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to recognize at that moment the habit of ego just came out of your mouth. And it said, I can't do this. And what else came out of your mouth is you already knew that it's not possible. Do you see? So that's the habit. That's what we're trying to wake people mm-hmm. up from, is this habit of, I already know it's not possible and I know I can't do it. So that's the voice of ego coming out of you right now. So you just see it, don't make it into a problem, and you just go, right, I just had this deep understanding of myself as being unlimited, no possibilities. Mm-hmm. And out of habit, I was just like, yeah, but it's not possible mm-hmm. in regular everyday life.
Yeah, because what I feel I need to more strength in this identification, like you said.
Yeah, you do. But that's, so here we are in this beautiful thing called life, which is giving us many opportunities. So of course, you're going to go and see your kids when you leave here. And maybe they're going to be, very active or whatever, mm-hmm. right? And you're going to feel the same contracted impulses that you always feel. Okay? But when you feel those contracted impulses, just recognize those as the same thing that's calling you to wake up, to do something different. Okay? So mm-hmm. the contraction comes, and you basically don't react. And you just look at your children, and everything in you is going, and you just look at them, and you just do something different, and you just smile. Even if you just smile, or you just say, oh, I hope you're having a good day. I mean, whatever you have to do something different. But you recognize the contraction does not have to rule your life. You are in charge, not the contraction, mm-hmm. not your thoughts, not your emotions. You, down here, thoughts and feelings and everything are up here. This is you. Who are you? Are you all this? Are you this contraction, or are you this? And you need to decide. And then you put your attention. That's the practice, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it, if you want to be free and you want to be different and you want to respond to this wake-up call that you're getting on some mornings, then you have life in order to help you.
And you can apply for all happens.
Everything. There's no exceptions. You can be happy. You can basically rest in this pure state of happiness as your fundamental ground of being, and then you can respond to the complexity of life. You're not always going to feel happy. You're not always going to feel calm on the surface, but underneath, the farther you go with this, and the more you shift your identification, it won't matter what's going on. You are always resting, even in intensity of being a human being in this life, in this crazy world that we live in.
Like a rock.
Like a rock. That's your anchor. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So you are a rock, and then there's the wind blowing by. But you're the rock.
Okay. Thank you, Cynthia, very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, all of you that see this video. If you like, please put your like in this channel and subscribe. Why not? Thank you very much. See you soon.
Ciao.